How's it going, guys? It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan here, live from Orlando, Florida. Coming to you here to talk to you guys a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons' recent hire fires, end-of-season review, and just kind of an overall discussion here. Some of the boys were not able to make it tonight, and we're just going to go and have a little discussion here with everybody in the chat. Rise up and stay grounded to everyone here. I hope that all of you guys are having an absolute blessed day. Today is the birthday stream. 33 years old. My knees feel like they're going to explode. Got a little beer, so we're gonna have a little fun here. Lucas Stricker and Evan Thompson. Good to see you guys in the chat. Rise up, stay grounded. Make sure you guys share and subscribe. See what's going on. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes to everybody in the chat. I really appreciate you all. Ben Johnson's my number one pick for head coach. And I think we need to be aggressive in addressing the quarterback situation. If that means trading our next 2 years of first-round picks to do it, then that's what it means. John Paul, what's going on, my man? Yo, it's been a minute since I've been able to catch you live. Hey, brother, stick with us. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for coming through. Rose Staxon, good to see you, my man. I heard Ben Johnson is the favorite for the commander job. Aaron Johnson, what's going on? Rise up, stay grounded. I hope you're doing well. Oh, my goodness. Everybody filing in, everybody coming through here. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Share this out on the Twitters, X, whatever you want to call that. And hit us up on Facebook as well. Tag your peeps. Get them in here. Let's have a little fun. Dirty Bird Nation, Rise Up, Falcons Nation, wherever you're going to end up sending this, please make sure you do. Send it to the Reddit if you want to. We're gonna be on for a second. We're gonna talk a little bit about this. Toast and a salute for the 33rd birthday to all you peeps that have been with us since the very beginning, and we're gonna discuss everything in its totality. We're going to, we're all about facts and truth here. We're gonna talk it out. I'm gonna talk it out. Here on the Lieutenant Dan birthday stream. Nothing like a warm Guinness. I'll tell you what. Nothing like warm Guinness. I had to wait for it to warm up a little bit. Get that real dark flavor in, you know? Oh my goodness. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes from everybody in the stream, man. I appreciate all of y'all hitting me with a happy birthday. Joseph Sandberg, what's going on, man? Rise up, stay grounded. Christopher Sanders, good to see you, brother. You need to throw our weight around because this is one of the best rosters and situations of all the available teams. We have the cap. We have a decent roster. We have a top 10 pick in the draft. Yes. Lots of moving pieces. So we're going to get into that in just a moment, but I'm just going to let everybody file in while we still have an opportunity. That way everybody can kind of get in, get settled, get ready. Get your beers, get your water, get your coffee, get your milk. He needs some milk. Get your OJ, Gatorade, whatever you're drinking. Tell me what you're drinking in the chat, man. What are you drinking? What are you drinking for the birthday stream? We drinking beer? We drinking Everclear? And any donos, any super chats, any of those things like that, I will definitely give you guys a shout out for all of those things. I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. Appreciate all of it. All of it. So, thank you. Thank you. Dexter Flash, what's going on, my man? Rise up, stay grounded. If you haven't already said hi in the chat, please make sure you have, if I haven't already said your name. Steel, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. My goodness. It's been a hot minute. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, my goodness. I wish I had everybody in a room. If everybody was in a room, I'd dap everybody up. Just, let's go, son. Let's go. Good to see everybody in here. Would be really cool to have like a giant mega couch and everybody could sit around with some beers and we can have a full discussion. Kind of do a show just like this, but have like a live, like, hey, how's it going? That would be really neat. You say it's your birthday. 33 years on the planet, man. Falcons still haven't won a championship. Oof! But I've seen so many cool things, man. So many cool things. So if you haven't already said hi in the chat or happy birthday in the chat, please do. I would love to say hi back. And I'm seeing so many old faces and some new faces, and I'm seeing a bunch of the grounders come through. So appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you haven't already gotten onto the Unintentional Grounding Discord, I will leave the link in there. 28-3. Ooh! All right, so let's get a little bit into the discussion here. And we'll talk a little history, and then we'll get into the actual this year and the ups and downs of said year. We'll go through a little bit of the ebb and flow. Even flow, around like butterflies. For your birthday, who do you want round one of the draft? We will get to that. We will get to that in just a moment. I will hold the tension here. We'll settle in. We'll settle in. Oh my goodness. Good to see all of y'all. I mean, y'all are incredible. The birthday wishes, the likes, the subs, everybody just dapping it up. The Matthew, what's going on, my man? Thank you so. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Thank you for the birthday wishes. The wishes. All right. So I've been here on this planet for 33 years. This amazing, as my wife would say, this amazing firmament. I've been on this fantastic planet, despite all of the crazy things you can get pulled in and all the evils of the world and all these other things. I've been highly favored and protected. I thank Jesus every single day that is part of what my journey has been. I've been able to bless people. People will be able to bless me, something that I'm still learning how to accept. Falcons fan 408, what's going on, my man? Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Stick with us. Stick with us. Let's have a discussion. And over my 33 years of being a Falcons fan, I have been a Falcons fan since 1998. Call it 1999, technically. That is a long time to be a fan of a sports team, as most in this chat would know. Ghost Up 6, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. Rise up, stay grounded. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Brian L., what's going on, dude? Good to see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate you guys. But of my 33 years on this earth and been a fan since 1999, and I've watched the Atlanta Falcons. I was born in 91, and I've watched the Falcons since I was very, very little kid. And I've watched this team field Jamal Anderson and Jesse Tuggle, Michael Vick and Algie Crumpler. Comment in the chat over here who your favorite Falcon since you've watched football has been. I would love to see what you guys say over here in the chat. I'd love to see it. But I've seen them field Jarius Norwood and Algie Crumpler. I've seen them put Patrick Kearney and Keith Brooking and Michael Vick and Matt Schaub. I have watched this team go from Joey Harrington to Matt Ryan to drafting Julio Jones to fighting and bickering over whether or not Steven Jackson was worth bringing in. I have been Team Coleman versus Team Freeman. I have watched this team go from Dan Reeves to Jim Mora to Bobby Petrino to Mike Smith to Dan Quinn. I've watched this team go to a Super Bowl twice. I have seen the highest of highs, and I have seen the lowest of lows. I have seen clutch kicks at the end of games led by a man who could not run and was literally a freaking statue to a guy who could just do it just about all. I have watched this team draft all the way at the number 2 pick, all the way to not even having a first-round pick. I have watched this Falcons organization with bated breath during drafts and playoffs and free agencies, and I was part of the Atlanta Falcons message boards when they were still alive. I have been part of, I can't even count how many Facebook groups. I have sat in barber chairs and in DMVs and been in a parts van driving, watching Vic Beasley like my tweets. I don't know if that's necessarily something to be proud about, but I have made breakdown videos with absolute passion and vigor since 2015, breaking down the likes of Carl Nassib. I remember that video very, very well. All the way to doing a Takk McKinley video, even going to Dallas, Texas for the 2018 NFL Draft with Vach Lombardi, and literally got to party with Cowboy fans and meet some amazing Falcons fans while we were there. Brianna Thompson, I know you're out there somewhere. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going well with medical school and things like that if you're around. I have seen this team do just about everything. Just about everything. Except for win a Super Bowl. But just about everything. I've seen them do just about all the things that possibly could be done. Major mistakes, highest of highs, low of lows. And I have had my personal biases, and I've had all kinds of crazy things happen to me along the way. Stealth mode, what's going on, my man? Rise up, stay grounded. This guy, he's been here. On and off, he has been here, but he's been here through the thick of it. So thank you, Stealth. I appreciate you, brother. And like I said, I've been making videos since 2015, whether that was live streams or just trying to throw my opinion out there or try to be a more educated fan and learn more and literally sit hours and hours as my wife is like, go to bed, and instead watch videos of high school and college coaches teaching me how zone blocking works and power and gap. And I've watched the evolution of the game go from power run to spread offenses to RPOs to having mobile quarterbacks as a must. And through it all, I have been loyal to the Atlanta Falcons. I know everybody in this chat has as well. And can I just get some clap emojis through here? Give yourself a round of applause for making it as far as you have as an Atlanta Falcon. I want everybody to just a round of applause to everybody in here who has watched my videos or just has been through this whole mess. Been through this whole stinking mess. But I want to say something personally now, watching this team. I want to go through some history, and then I want to hit you with a little personal feels right here. 33rd birthday, hype up in the chat. I just want to say this one thing about history. You have heard me say this a million times before. You've heard me talk about the Falcons many, many times. Blizz, what's going on, my man? Rise up, stay grounded. I hope you're doing well. Oh, my goodness. Blizz. That's the man right there. This organization has always taken the safe route. Has always decided that it is best to just play it safe and do what's necessary, keep things under control and in a box, and not get too cute, not get too crazy, and just keep it 100. And I say to you, and I say to every other Falcons fan that's currently watching right now, and if you're not a Falcons fan, just bear with me. But these past 3 years have reminded me of the time with Dan Quinn. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but these past 3 years have definitely felt like an extension of Dan Quinn. As if you just kind of, pushing it along, trying to get everything kind of just going. So I want to say this, that the history of this team from where we have been with Dan Quinn to where we are now has been highly, highly, highly documented. I don't need to repeat that again. But I say this, and I think I speak for every Falcons fan when I say this, is that we are stinking tired. Darn tired. Doesn't matter if it's Rich McKay, doesn't matter if it's Arthur Blank, doesn't matter if it's Terry Fontenot or Thomas Dimitroff or who the head coach is at that time, or this time or next time or wherever it's going to be, until the Atlanta Falcons become more aggressive and decide to go the extra mile and roll some dice. This franchise will be always stuck on the same first song on the record until the end of time. And I bleed red and black. I do. I've got my Falcons shirts. I got my stuff on the wall. I got my hat. I've got all this stuff. Some of you guys have gifted me some of these things. Some of these things have been my wife. A lot of them. Some of them have been me. I remember Burton BDV, sending me my first camera and saying, "Hey, you should have your face on the screen." Okay, we'll do it. The Atlanta Falcons this season ended with a 7-10 record. And I think the first thing that I want to say to everybody in this chat is that is unacceptable. Now, the NFL's not done adding games and or adding expansion teams, and this will not be the last time that I say this, but the Atlanta Falcons are currently lost. They are lost in the mix and the shuffle of every other 31 other teams in the NFL and heavily deep at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the NFC. Not even the NFC South, just the NFC in general. That's not gloom and doom. That's just the reality of the situation. And I think we're all grown-ups here. Regardless of our age, we are all at least grown to a point that we have an understanding of what insanity looks like. So, the first thing I'm going to do is there's this little bell right next to me, and it says, "Nope, not today, Satan." In fact, here it is. Right here. Not today. Jack Savage, what's going on, my man? Rise up, stay ground. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the birthday wishes, man. Gosh. Just feel, man, you don't know. You don't know. Some crazy stuff happened today. You don't know. The Atlanta Falcons need to stop playing around. I don't care if it's Rich McKay or Arthur Blank or Terry Fontenot or whoever the next coach is. I don't care. Stop playing around. Stop taking people's other pickings. Stop trying to impress by doing the bare minimum, playing it safe. That time is over. And it's time to actually make a move. Now, I know you're going to listen to all kinds of other Falcons content creators. And rightfully so, because I have not been out here really, going out. But it's time to take control into our own hands. It's time, as Shia LaBeouf said, to just do it. Make your dreams come true. Yesterday, you said you would do it today. And today, now you're saying you're going to do it tomorrow. Stop. Just do it. Just do it. Let your dreams not be memes. Okay? What I'm about to say, and if you click off of this show right now, I will completely understand. Okay? Because what I'm about to say is blasphemous from a couple of different angles. But it makes sense if you look at it. If the Falcons really want to get this done, it's time to call the Bears and ask what the price will be for pick 1. And the Bears will be hesitant. They will be reluctant to do it. It's going to cost you two first rounds, 2 second rounds, and probably a player. Maybe 2 first rounds, a second, and 2 players. How important is a CB1 to you guys versus QB1? How important is CB1 to you guys versus QB1? And I think we need to ask that question also with guys like Kyle Pitts. How important is a unicorn first-round pick that his best actual season has been with Matt Ryan? And really, really think about this before you just tune out and go, there's Dan going off with his tinfoil hat again. Shway, shway. Quiet. Listen. How important is your cornerback 1 who is not a turnover machine and has been burnt multiple times, and your tight end 1 who has been outplayed by Jonnu Smith and by McCole Pruitt? How important are those pieces versus getting your QB1 of 15 plus years? 10 plus. Let's just be realistic. 10 plus years, 2 contracts, 10 plus years. How important is that to you? Because that now needs to be the case for the Atlanta Falcons. We just watched, and I will go in order of importance of these quarterbacks. We have just watched Michael Penix Jr. go out and get a rib injury, 2 past ACL injuries, and just look all over the place versus his previous game where he was lighting it up. We watched Mayo brand J.J. McCarthy, who might actually end up being a solid quarterback for some team, might even be the Falcons, go out and do the bare minimum. Stopped up on a lot of passes, but do the bare minimum and lead his team to victory. We have watched Jaden Daniels go out and sling the ball like nobody's business and be probably the most intriguing prospect out of LSU. We've watched Drake May at baseline be better than most, but we have no idea how high his ceiling is. And we have watched a sporadic Caleb Williams who has every bit of oozing talent be touted as the number 1 selection in the NFL draft. And if you don't like him, then I understand all of the reasons why you may not like him. The Atlanta Falcons are in a position in a QB class where I don't think you can really miss on any of the guys that I have just named based on coaching. And they have just fired their coach of 3 years who has not brought them a single winning season in 3 years. And are now on the search for a head coach with input from Terry Fontenot, while Rich McKay and Arthur Blank will make more or less a final decision because they are looking to drop a bag. And I can understand that. And I think more or less I feel that getting closer and closer to happening to this Falcons organization, where they go get a premier head coach, a veteran, a guy that knows what he's doing, who has experience in the NFL, who has creative systems, who knows how to use a run game, and can be able to spread the ball out, allowing his quarterback to run or allowing his quarterback to find open areas. And this job is so attractive with an offensive line that's pretty decent, a group of tight ends that are pretty decent, a wide receiving room that needs some help but it could definitely be added to in this draft or even in this free agency. A pair of running backs who, I think anybody would look at and go, I can work with that. A defense who probably needs to add some more pieces, but, depending on how much you're going to be ending to give up and then what you're going to get from the Calvin Ridley trade, could still be a solid draft for you to settle this team into for the next season and then go into 2025 swinging for a Super Bowl. So I bring this up as a scary, scary scenario. I wonder if the Atlanta Falcons are heavily considering, being that it is one of the major names here, but I wonder if they're heavily considering bringing in Harbaugh and then throwing the absolute treasury, the entire system, at the Chicago Bears and saying, fine, you can have our first-round pick next year. You can have our first-round pick this year. You can have a second this year and a second next year. And we'll also give you either A.J. Terrell or Kyle Pitts or whatever it may end up being if you end up keeping Justin Fields. And if the Bears bite on that and they end up taking it, we will jump from 8-1. And then this whole offseason will be just make the right selection. Go into free agency, and I saw Evan Thompson actually put some things down in there, but go into free agency, find yourself a premier wide receiver that can pair with Drake London. Go and get Danielle Hunter or Josh Allen, one of these guys. Pair them with what you already have going on. Talk to Campbell. Talk to Dupree. Make sure Grady's healthy. Add more to this depth. Kick some guys to the curb. Push some guys that were starters to depth. Keep the team healthy. Bring in a Harbaugh that knows how to utilize a quarterback and utilize a system that could, and very similarly, make it work with a young quarterback who can sling. And then go into the draft and just pick the right guy. You'll have all offseason to make that decision. You'll have all offseason to develop, whether that be Caleb Williams or Drake May or Jaden Daniels. And some people would say this is too rich, but maybe even J.J. McCarthy. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to say any of those 4 kids could be your next Falcons quarterback, whether they trade up or they pick at 8. If I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I'm throwing the bag at Harbaugh. I'm giving him full and total control of how the roster should be constructed, and then having him team with Terry Fontenot or whoever else he wants to kind of incorporate into this based on the previous drafting and previous acquisitions, and say, Let's build this up into something that we ourselves want to emulate and put into the Atlanta Falcons for 2024 to try to get a winning season and get into the playoffs and prove that we're in the right direction. If that is the case, and you end up trading an A.J. Terrell with a developing Clark Phillips, and you let Okuda go, and yada, 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 then I can see the Falcons punching the NFC South in the mouth. And I'm a poet and didn't know it. Happy birthday to me. I have no problems with Harbaugh being in here. I even don't have a problem with Bill Belichick being here. I don't. I know the popular name right now is Ben Johnson, and the talent definitely works for Ben Johnson and what he wants to do. I have even seen other people describe the next head coach as a guy that should take full and total control of every aspect that they do outside of reporting to Rich McKay and Arthur Blank. Thursday for Friday. Hold. I just need to see this real quick. Really? 10 to 4:30. Yeah, I'll think about that. I am not going to sit here like in past years and be passive to the point and make videos passive to the point that we all go, oh, excuse A and excuse B, and that's why we shouldn't bring in X guy in here. And I'm not going to get on to Rich McKay and Arthur Blank and all these guys who do good things for the city of Atlanta and are just trying to put on the best show and the best butts and seats program. I will not get into that whole bit. That's a fan talking. From an analytical and a construction standpoint, and one that is not passive and one that's not conservative, one that's thinking clearly, but also going in and saying, we have to be able to win now, we have to make things push forward, then I myself say this. Go spin the bag on a head coach who has NFL experience, who runs a really good offense, and knows how to keep a locker room together, and has proven that day one since they have gotten opportunity to do that in another team or have formerly been on a team that you have trustworthy nature to, and say, let's ride. Do not go and get a veteran like Kirk Cousins or Ryan Tannehill and I've seen this way too many times, Russell Wilson, and pretend like you can bandage this and push it down the road. That will show weakness at every point from an ownership standpoint, from a management standpoint, Rich McKay, from a player personnel standpoint, Terry Fontenot, or whoever is in that position as general manager in the near future, and from a head coaching standpoint, which if that is the way that they go, conservatism always leads to a lack of improvement and a hands under the butt mentality where you just hope that you get lucky and you get in there. If you want things to get to a point where you hit the lotto big, then you have to risk big. You have to go in heavily and say, this is what could happen if we fail, and this is what happens if we don't fail. versus being conservative and saying this is what happens if we fail conservatively, and this is what doesn't happen if we end up doing well conservatively. The Falcons have been conservative for a very long time, whether that's with Dan Reeves or that's with Dan Quinn, whether that's with Mike Smith or that has been with Arthur Smith. It's been conservative, old football mentality moves, and the only real nuance that we have seen, and been a nuisance, but any real nuance that we have seen has been from Dan Quinn, and he was not ready to be a head coach. He was ready to be a full-time, real up-there defensive coordinator and allowed to run the defense and have somebody specifically run the offense. Shanahan was ready to be a coach. We should have given him complete control and fired Dan Quinn and moved on from there. That's a mistake we made, and there's plenty of guys on this team that we could have kept, and they left. And I see Falcons fan 408 in the chat, and he said the only major one was Julio Jones. It's probably consistent with what I was talking about there, but I digress. I have to fire, there's fire. Could everybody please, I'm going to step to the side here. Yep. Everyone please say hello to Miss Lieutenant Dan. Wish her a wonderful night.
Hello. It's his birthday, though. Why me?
Say hi to the chat.
Hello. I don't know what to say, but hello. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, ¿y tú? I don't know. Huinan.
Give them a prayer.
Do you guys know Afrikaans is a language? Because I didn't until a few years ago. Hi, Joseph. And Falcons fan 408? No, 407. That's Orlando. Oh. I don't know what the 408 is. 408. Hello, Ghost Up 6. Oh, Christopher with a K. Sanders. Okay. A lot of people in here. 21 people. A heart. Oh, thank you. Wow. Well, you guys are awesome. Thank you for joining the birthday stream. And I pray for you all that you find the love of Christ in your heart if you don't have it already, and that the Holy Spirit comes supernaturally to you guys, because God is a God of power, love, and a sound mind. So He loves all of you guys. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
33. What the heck? Oh, you didn't tell him?
Oh, I told them. They know. They know now.
I'm only obsessed with mentioning that Jesus was 33 when he died, and he'll always be 33. So, God of hope. Yeah, absolutely. See.
See.
Of salvation and love. That's awesome. I'm not good at just keep talking, but normally I am until you put a mic and a camera in front of me. Amen. What were you talking about?
We're just talking about being aggressive in the and stop being passive as Falcons. The Falcons should be. But let me get back to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be on the stream.
Everybody
Blessings.
say goodbye to Mr. Lieutenant Dan.
Going on. Like or slop to everybody. Sleep well. Have a good night. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you. All right. Oh. So, these are the last things that I have to say about this. The last things that I have to say about the Atlanta Falcons, and the last things that I need to say about what has currently happened and where we're currently at. The Arthur Smith firing was 110% the right thing to do. Terry Fontenot strapping and handcuffing him, I don't think that's the greatest thing, but maybe the power structure is different here in Atlanta, and I am okay with that. I'm not going to freak out. But where the Falcons need to go next, what they need to do next, where they need to progress, the next big part of this that they need to do is they need to trim some fat. and they need to not be attached to any of the players that they currently have. And they need to make an aggressive move to the top few selections of the draft. They need to sell some of this farm in order to be able to have some more cows. And then they need to get rid of the sickly cows, and they need to only have the fresh and good and healthy cows, allowing them to be able to not only put butts in seats, but also be able to put a fantastic team on the field. We need a coach that wants a young, groomable quarterback and somebody that wants to build and leave a legacy here to change the narrative of this team. And I don't know about all of y'all, and I don't know how many people in here are really going to say it, but I would drop the bag for a real, true, down-to-earth, knows what he's doing, has an offensive mind, head coach, someone who puts the culture first, his team first, his guys first, and brings the talent that we currently have together and finally pieces it together the way that the puzzle should be pieced together. Defensively, I'm not worried. Offensively, I'm shaky. Where we're currently sitting in the draft makes me heavy-hearted, because I know that we have 1, 2, 3 or so, 3 to 4 months until the NFL draft. And I cannot, in any way, shape, or form, support sitting on our hands and waiting for silliness to happen. So I was asked earlier in the stream by Joseph, because this is my birthday stream, and thank you for all the happy birthday wishes. Thank you, Philip Bonner. I appreciate you, brother. But I was asked earlier in the stream by Joseph, it's your birthday. Who would you take in the first round? If I could have one choice, one selection to take one person, who would I take? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce that I would take Jaden Daniels without question. But if the Falcons sold the farm and took Caleb Williams, then I have no problem. I have no problem setting this team up to make Caleb Williams successful. I have questions about every quarterback, but I want to see the Falcons sell the farm to get the number 1 overall pick sooner than later and set them up for an opportunity to go get a championship. Go get a caliber of quarterback that we have not seen in here since Michael Vick. And I have said it many times before. I've been angry many times before about trying to give that next Michael Vick-esque quarterback here in Atlanta. And I am so glad and so thankful that the Falcons are in a position to make a shot at it. Now it's up to the Falcons to be aggressive. Blizz in the chat. Thank you so much. The $10 dono in the chat. Thank you so much, man. My goodness, dude. You did not have to do that, but thank you so much. Really, really thankful. Thank you for the birthday wishes, man. I appreciate you so much. Man, my dad made me break down not too long ago. My family and I are struggling. We're struggling pretty bad. I don't want to get too sentimental in here, but we're actually really struggling hard. We're all struggling. I think the economy, the way the country is going, the way that we're all going is we're all struggling. But my dad for life. Thank you so much, man. I thank you. My goodness. My dad hit me up and helped us financially with a little birthday present. Helped the bank account get a little more full. And we've been really just living check to check, man. And I haven't been putting out any content because I've just been so down and so depressed, and I just haven't felt like this has been the way to go. And just the support and the love that you guys have shown, and my dad hitting me up with this today just kind of broke me, man. It really, really, really hit me hard. Really hit me hard. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get too sentimental, but the reason why I mention it is because the blessings that everyone in here has been able to hit me up with has made me just really, I don't know, it's ignited a flame a little bit to be like, you know what, it's time to go back to the old way that we used to do things and maybe even invent a new way to be able to do it. So thank you. Thank you to everybody in here. Like the super chats, the donos, the subs, all of those things. It just shows me that there's a reason to be doing this and a reason for us to be getting together, and there's a reason for us to be able to hit everybody up and say, hey, look, let's just look at this from the way that it is. And the fact of the matter is that we can't sit here and watch this team keep doing what it's doing, but also we got to put out some amazing content in order to be able to prove that point. And not be stuck by narrative and not be stuck by emotion, but just be ready for all kinds of things, man. Ready for all kinds of things. James Olberton. Oh, my gosh, James. Good to see you, brother. My goodness. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes, man. That is so fire. I appreciate you. I'm fine with either one. Thing is, I do think Williams is more talented than Daniels, but overall, they're both great options to be lucky to have a draft with both of them. And Drake May, too. I think that Drake May is fantastic. I don't hate J.J. McCarthy. I just, I think there is unless you have the right head coach and the right offensive system, it's very tough for that. I'm not a big fan of Bo Nix. I'm not a big fan of Bo Nix, and I see a lot of issues if you bring in Michael Penix Jr. But that right here is all I need. So Falcons fan 408, thank you so much. The season pass. You hitting me with a season pass, brother? Dog. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Woo. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah. Sorry. You're going to make me choke up, Doug. I appreciate you. I really do. My goodness. Yeah. 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 Crazy. JP, what's going on, my man? Rise up, stay grounded. Thank you for the birthday wishes, brother. That hits me right here. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Woo. Gotta calm down, you know? Oh, man. So, I want to hear from everybody in here. And you just hit me up with who is your favorite quarterback in this draft, and you don't have to give me a full summary, but hit me up with who is your favorite quarterback. Who's your favorite quarterback in this draft? I want to hear people's honest opinions in the chat about their favorite quarterback is, because I'm very curious, very, very curious about what this is all going to end up turning into. Jaden Daniels. I think I'm the most intrigued by Jaden. I think I'm definitely most intrigued by Jaden. I see an incredible talent level with Caleb, and I think there's like a ceiling there, a glass ceiling that may have to be broken in order to be able to do it. And then also I see like Drake May's floor is very high, but how high is the ceiling? You know, like if I was describing like a ceiling floor combo, I would say that Caleb Williams is from the front view, the house doesn't look so big. But when you look at it, it's very long and wide. How big are the rooms inside? Whereas Drake May's floor is already so large. But I don't know how high the ceiling is. Boy, Bangley in here with a $20 dono, bro. Like, gosh, man. Thank you, brother. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes, brother. Man, that hits me hard. Thanks, man. Woo. Woo. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the memberships, guys. Thank you for the donos. Oh, my gosh. Man. You guys are going to wreck me before I get off this stream. Let me take another swig of this beer. You think the injuries the injury is any concern for Daniels? No, I don't think so, especially the way that he's been able to run and the way he's been able to do things. So that's just, I don't think that necessarily has anything. With Jaden Daniels, I think that we see how high the ceiling is and we see how high the floor is because it's been renovated and it's been redone. If you think about it, his transfer from Arizona or Arizona State to LSU and then the time it took to develop that, and then he had a good offensive coordinator and went out there and did great things. Ooh, excuse me. But I look at Jaden Daniels and I go, this guy right here has all of it. How high can you get that ceiling? I think it's a movable ceiling there. I think J.J. McCarthy is scheme specific and that he's going to make mistakes. You're going to have to forgive him. You're going to have to play forgiveness. And Michael Penix Jr. is a complete refab of your offensive line. I mean, that's true, right? I mean, you look at Michael Penix Jr., left-handed quarterback, accuracy issues. One game he's lighting you up, the next game he's missing targets by, 20, 30 feet. And I think you love what Michael Penix Jr. shows you as a whole, but you don't like what Michael Penix Jr. does for you on a game-to-game basis. Especially coming from the Pac-12 and especially coming from a and I mean, Jaden Daniels is originally from the Pac-12, so that's its own discussion. But I looked at videos of Caleb Williams and Drake May and Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix Jr., being that I've watched enough J.J. McCarthy and I don't need to get into that. But J.J. McCarthy gives you so little for so much hype, whereas Jaden Daniels gives you so much hype for very unique concerns. Drake May gives you Drake May is like you know that if he had better playmakers, he would be a much better quarterback. But is he dependent on playmakers? Because I think he was the best thing at UNC. I think at North Carolina, Drake May gives you just about everything that you were looking for. He just didn't have the talent around him. But can you justify that, knowing that, yeah, he can make pretty much all the throws, but man, does Drake May just scream. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like Drake May screams predictable. And he's going to have to elevate his game to the next level, but how long will that take? How high is the ceiling compared to how high the floor is? Because all of the athletic profile is there, and all of the arm talent is there, but you can tell there's flaws and decision-making issues, and I just can't buy into it. So I need to know how high the ceiling can possibly be based on the coaching staff that will end up taking him and going, this is how we're going to use Drake May. Because otherwise, you may end up with another Daniel Jones, albeit he's not that bad. He's not bad like that. He has a very high floor. Caleb Williams is like, if you can contain the nuclear bomb, then you can drop said nuclear bomb at any time, anywhere, any place. But you might have the nuclear bomb go off in your own backyard, and you'll be at ground zero and your face will get melted off. And that is Caleb Williams. If you take the number 1 overall pick, I don't think you're in a bad spot to say that Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, or Drake May should be your number 1 option, and you should be picking one of those guys without even hesitating. It's just that simple. It really, really is that simple. I think it just comes down to schematic preference. Which one can run your scheme perfectly? Maybe not even perfectly. Which one of these guys can just go out there and do the job? I want to see the Falcons end up in the position of making that decision. I want to see the Falcons in that position to be able to make that decision. At 8, I don't think it's feasible. And it's very hard for me to think Bears fans or the Bears front office is going to want to go from 1 to 8. That's tough. That's a tough sell. Unless you're giving them multiple first-round picks, minimum 2, probably multiple second-round picks, probably 2, and probably a player in order for the Bears to turn themselves around if Justin Fields ends up getting the payday and ends up playing one more time for the Bears. It's very, very, it's very, very tough if you're a Bears fan to go, yeah, I'm keeping Justin Fields and I'm going to take the 8th overall pick. I have a second first-round pick. I have 2 or 3 second-round picks, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And they were about to give up the farm for Trey Lance. And you sit here and you go, could Trey Lance have worked here in Atlanta? I mean, he got injured in San Francisco, so we'll never know. It was a freak accident. We don't know what could have happened. But if Trey Lance was here in Atlanta, could that have worked? Was Arthur Smith the kind of guy that could have developed that? And so, you leave yourself with questions like that. You leave yourself with interesting questions like that. But I think, based on what I see, I think I am probably with the Bills OC, who's currently their head coach at the moment, or Harbaugh, or Ben Johnson. I think those are probably the 3 guys that I'm willing to drop the bag on. It's tough not to drop the bag on one of those guys based on the offenses that they've shown. Really, it really is. Listen, man. Listen. It's You're looking at a fantastic group of guys. They all are really, really good. Joe Brady, yeah. So I again, drop the bag on Joe Brady, drop the bag on Harbaugh, drop the bag on Ben Johnson. And you could have really, really good offenses paired with a pretty decent defense, win the NFC South, because you were only 1 game out of it. You were only 1 game out of it this year. So you're probably going to be very close next year. Maybe that's where you end up going. And I like that idea better than just sitting here and going, all right, well, we're going to take Belichick or we're going to take Munkin or one of these guys and just try to slot it in and, see what he can do. And we're going to bring Kirk Cousins in here because we need experience. I would get out of that. If they get Harbaugh, they're most likely getting McCarthy. Not if they trade it for the number 1 overall pick, they're not. Because that will be overruled very quickly. Very quickly. You will get the best talent available in J.J. McCarthy versus the 3 other talents in Drake May, Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels. Those guys beat out McCarthy, and that's just a fact. That's literally a fact. So unless J.J. McCarthy has one of the best combines of all time, and I said this, I'm going to make everybody really mad in here. Here we go. You ready? I'm ready to make everybody very mad. Oh boy, Angry Dan, here he comes. J.J. McCarthy is Matt Ryan with wheels. There, I said it. And it's boring. It's boring. It's boring. It's boring. J.J. McCarthy is the kind of quarterback that I would sit behind a 1-year Tannehill build but with Harbaugh there and run that offense, grab some free agents, grab some talent, go into their second draft and continue to load up the team with some Michigan boys and this and that and the third. And then have JJ start and go run an offense that's similar to that 2016, what was that, 2012, San Francisco. Both, by the way, both of them are Atlanta and San Francisco, but now currently San Francisco, so it's kind of that same grouping. Run that Colin Kaepernick offense with J.J. McCarthy in the NFL, and you're probably going to rip people up. It's going to look like Matt Ryan, Brock Purdy-esque play. Colin Kaepernick-esque play. He's got the rip on the ball. I can't deny that. I can't deny it. Go watch his tape. It's boring. It's boring until you actually start looking at the individual ones and you're like, bam, bam, bam. John Paul, right after you said that about J.J. McCarthy and Matt Ryan, the power in my house went out. It's confirmed. We're getting Harbaugh, we're getting McCarthy, and we're running it, boys, at 8. Because you can get McCarthy at 8. I think you get J.J. McCarthy at 8. I think that's pretty much it. I think J.J. McCarthy goes at 8. But if it's Harbaugh and they don't move up the 1 and they go get J.J. McCarthy and they just use all these other picks for all kinds of other things, you don't trade anything, and you just run it back with what you have plus your full entire draft and a free agency worth of stuff, and you run this offense that's very similar to what they ran with Colin Kaepernick and what they've been running at Michigan and what you've seen with that Matt Ryan 2016 Falcons offense and all that stuff. I think J.J. McCarthy could do that, and that's why I'm not like, oh, I'll never decide to take J.J. because McCarthy knows what he's doing. He's just boring. He's so boring. He is. He's not. And this is, again, brings back to this whole bit. What I preach every day. Don't go after shiny nickels. Go after guys that make it work. So if J.J. McCarthy came in here and started lighting people up, then I would have to ask every single person to be able to get a $4.99 a month membership to the Unintentional Grounding, because I'm gonna drop all 22 tape on y'all's asses for J.J. McCarthy and how well he does. But anyway, I digress. What teams ahead of us in the draft do you think would take a QB? The Bears, if Justin Fields is not the guy. The Giants, if they decide not to do Daniel Jones. The The Commanders, if Howell is not the dude, which I believe that they're going to end up taking a QB anyway. New England is definitely looking at a quarterback, so that's probably about 4 teams worth of quarterbacks. And after that, you're not in danger. There are teams behind you that probably are going to give everything and their left pinky toe to go grab the number 1 overall pick and go get their guy, but I don't think it's viable for teams like the Raiders and New Orleans and Tampa. And Tampa's so far out of it now. They're in the playoffs. Good luck to them. They're about to get stomped. There's plenty of teams that need a quarterback. Denver needs a quarterback. But we will see whether or not that's a thing we can actually see happen. So, before we leave, I just want to do a quick prayer, and before I do that prayer, I want to remind everybody in the chat that thank you for all the birthday wishes. So blessed. So absolutely blessed by all of you guys. Hit me up with birthday wishes. You guys are, man, you guys tearing me up. Thank you for all the super chats because it really helps. You don't understand how much that helps actually keep the lights on, Doc. Like, it really does. It really, really, really does. Thank you for the monthly membership subscriptions. Every grounder that hits me up with a $4.99, a $19.99, a 99-cent, a $50 donation, the $50 membership offer. The fact that you guys hit me up with any of those things is just an absolute blessing. You just don't know. You don't know. We got some content coming out. As soon as we know the next head coach, we will start breaking down tendencies of that head coach and what their offensive system is all about. Once we kind of do that, the next phase of that is the free agent process. We'll start breaking that down. After that is the draft and any news that goes in between that. Combine and all of those things. So we will be covering every bit of that we possibly can cover. And I will try to tell my job, hey, look, I need to do this content. This is just how it is. So before I leave, let me go ahead and give you guys a prayer, and then we'll get on out of here. And just thank you for making this birthday stream the absolute coolest thing we've done in quite a while. And thank you for all your blessings and the donations and things. It's just so it's life-changing. You don't know how much that changes my life, but it really does change my life. It just does. It just does. Just does. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for this gathering of like-minded individuals and people who love this content and love to be able to do this. A family of people who not only enjoy this content, but just love supporting me and my family. And Lord, I just, for everything that they've given unto us, I hope that double and triple and quadruple portions go out to them, that their minds open, that their hearts open, that anything in their past that they have not forgiven, that they change their ways and forgive them immediately, that they show the other cheek and they take out, if their right eye spites their left, that they take that eye and immediately throw it away. Not literally, Lord, but in more of a metaphorical sense. Lord, just bless their families, put a hedge of protection around them. Please just be able to allow them to have emotion and draw from you that grace and that holiness and that happiness and the peace of mind that they have desperately needed. Lord, I know we're all an emotional wreck. I know that we're in a very, very strange time, not only mentally and emotionally, but also in the physical world here. Let us not live of the world, but in this world. Let us be able to read your word and be able to preach that. Let us every day, little by little, open up our hearts and allow you to come in and clean out our temples, Lord, and be able to not only exercise more, drink more water, go out and become happier, go find new opportunities, not be scared of the ins and outs of new things, Lord. Let us not be tempted by old desires, but allow us to just elevate ourselves so that we can do great things for you, Lord, that we can do great things for each other. Lord, just like I said, just bless their families and allow them to forgive each other, to become more humble, to become more wholesome, and allow us to not continue to fall into the same routine that we always have had. Lord, whether it's monetarily or spiritually, mentally, emotionally, whether that's a physical manifestation or something that opens a door somewhere by your grace and your glory, allow every single person in this chat to just find peace and happiness and change in their life for 2024. Lord, we come here because we love this game, and we love talking about it. We love doing the ins and outs of it. We love doing the film. We love supporting each other. We love having a space where we can come and be our own. So just bless us in that, in this space and in those times, and just Jesus, just protect us, Lord. We know that you're King, and we know that you have come here, and we know that you have come to take the principalities of the air and diminish those things and say that the devil has no hold over us and these demons have no hold over us, and the weird and crazy things are happening in the world. They will not divide us or change us. They will only strengthen us and bring us closer to you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Woo! Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Really, really do. Rise up. Stay grounded. And I will talk to you guys again real soon. We'll get some content out. Hit me up, UNGR_show on the Twitter or the X if you have it. Yes, AJ, my birthday was today. I turned 33, baby. 33. Heyo. I can finally be like, 3's down, baby. 3's down. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, AJ. Chat, can we get a post happy birthday to AJ Evans? Dog over here having a birthday didn't tell us. Let's support our grounders, dog. Just everybody in the chat, just a little love before we get out of here. Hit them up with a happy birthday. HBD, dog. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. Oh, you guys have a wonderful night. I'm going to go drink another beer. And maybe go watch a late movie and then hit the hay and go in tomorrow morning and kick ass and chew bubblegum. That's what we're going to get into. Rise up. Stay grounded, y'all.